Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of Roll the Tape. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Scream 6. Now, Scream 6, I did not watch any of the prequels going into it besides the first one. And the first Scream I watched was like when I was a kid. Honestly, I remember Scary Movie more than I remember Scream. Yeah, I watched Scream 6 without any of the precursor movies before it. And I watched on my flight home from the East Coast, actually. I was honestly super surprised by this film. I actually really enjoyed Scream 6, and I'm sure if you watched all of the previous films, you would enjoy it even more. Because it pays homage to all the previous movies. But even though I didn't watch all the previous movies except for the original one, I will say I really enjoyed Scream 6 because it poked a lot of fun at the whole like thriller, slasher, horror type of movie genre on top of just like the whole Scream franchise. Like it poked a lot of fun at the Scream franchise. And I love that. I love that even though it's a horror film, it didn't take itself super seriously, but also on top of that, it was still pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like there were a lot of moments where I was like watching this on the plane and I was like, damn, like you caught me off guard. So I give this movie a lot of credit because like it's really hard to do that for me, honestly. And I don't get scared from scary movies too much anymore as an adult. When I was a kid, any of my cousins or family members know this, I was a scaredy cat growing up. I was scared of almost every single scary movie that we watched because my family loves to watch horror movies, and I was terrified of every single one. But now, as an adult, I don't really get scared of too many. And the fact that Scream 6 still had moments that kind of like caught me, I give it a lot of props for that. So, and I think the biggest reason why it had scary moments for me was because it kind of went back to the original types of like methods, I would say, of like horror movies, where they played a lot more with your psyche and your mind, rather than focusing on the jump scares. And I think that's where a lot of horror movies now kind of like fail in a way, where it's more focused on the jump scare rather than like the imagination. And even though there were jump scare moments in Scream 6, I feel like there was a lot of precursor build-up of just like imagination, and the timing of when the jump scare happened was like perfect to that. And it wasn't just like a jump scare to be a jump scare, it was just like a jump scare and you were feeling a lot of anxiety and a lot of like pressure in a moment, and when it happened in a way that wasn't expected as an audience member. So so I give this movie a lot of props, and I honestly was thoroughly surprised by it, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's a very entertaining movie, and I would highly recommend to watch it, even if you haven't watched any of the previous movies before it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Scream 6. Also, I may possibly be starting a new series attached to Roll the Tape, like a sister series, and I would like to thank one of my friends for recommending this to me. But I will be doing kind of like a Roll the Tape breakdown series where I'm going to take scenes from movies and I'm going to break them down a little bit, coming from my perspective as a filmmaker on why I think a scene works or doesn't work. So I'll probably talk about a bit about like lighting, maybe acting, maybe I'll talk a bit about composition, and editing, coloring, transitions, sound design, production design, all the different parts that make a scene work or not work. I'll probably talk about it, and it may be spoiler content for people that might be interested in watching a movie, but I also think it will like respect that boundary of mine of like not spoiling too much, and instead have it be a little bit more of an educational piece of how I personally break down the scene when I observe it while I'm watching. So, and how I find inspiration in other pieces of work, whether or not it's something that I like or don't like, because either way you find inspiration because it helps you to figure out things that you would like to do and things that you wouldn't like to do, and how you would like to frame those things in your own perspective so that it becomes more of your own original type of piece and technique. So yeah, so I will be working on that, still trying to figure out how I want to do that series, but stay tuned for that moving forward into the future. So yeah, just wanted to toss that in at the end of this. So that's it. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and have a good night, and make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. All right, peace y'all.